Okay, take two, because I was rambling. All right, so basically TLDR. It's like 3 a.m. I have a headache and I like woke up, so I just decided to make a video. ADC buffs are exciting. Zero items are fire and PD are cheaper, and IE is great at third item. And yeah, I just want to make a video. Oh yeah, Gale Force got buffed too. So this is just gonna be not too structured. Basically, we're gonna be looking at how to carry without getting kills as ADC. I know, shocking. How we can influence the game in the first 20 minutes, right? Because that's where a lot of the action happens that might feel out of your control. So hopefully this video will shed some light on this. And for those of you in like the diamond range, this is probably like the target audience, so to speak, but of course still applicable to all levels below at the very least, right? If you want to see Donkey from Shrek, this is from today. This game we'll be going over. Probably don't have time for this one, but this is the game we'll be going over, right? And my 2 kills came at the end of the game, like the 21-minute mark. Okay, so we're just gonna start this up, and we're just gonna show you going on here. Okay, so sorry, I should mute this. So we're just gonna go with this. It's gonna be pretty scuffed. Not too much editing going on here, but I just want to see if we can spot some reoccurring patterns in the laning phase and maybe in parts of the mid game, and see if we can replicate good things that we see and prevent bad things that we see. So if you want to talk about level 1 here, like we've already won his health pot, right? So if we go back here, and you guys might be wondering, okay, how did we win? How do we just win the health pot, right? So this is honestly, when I see this in coaching, it happens all the time. And honestly, this happens, I'll say like masters and below. A lot of people do this. It's kind of interesting. Don't fall into this trap. So when you see the Zillion miss the bomb, right? Maybe Lucian's thinking, okay, I can trade with Caitlyn here, right? But here's the thing, he kind of used his damaging ability on the minions, right? And I still have mine, and that's one part. So he's already lost off that, right? So if he tries to trade here, he's already lost. Like, let's pretend like Zillion doesn't even auto him, right? I mean, he's already losing in this picture, right? The second thing, maybe more helpful for like those in the gold and below elo range. The range, if you're not aware, the range minions do the most of the minion damage, or I should say all of the minion damage in lane. The melee minions are just big fat tanks, and the range minions do a lot of damage, right? So if you watch this and you see someone trying to aggress onto you, or like trying to hit you, you just stand behind your range minion line. Right? It's very common pattern. You just trade back, right? Assuming you're not losing for whatever reason. Like for example, 3 range minions does not beat like Jin Q for a shot if you have nothing to show for it ability wise, right? So if you watch this, I know the quality just kind of freaked out for a sec. How would you prevent this from happening, right? So from my end, he's just like running into me, so I just hit him. From his end, what was he thinking? He wanted, so when we talk about this video is probably gonna be longer than I intend. When we talk about like habits on this channel, like anyone who's ever watched coaching from my videos know that I'm very big on habitual gameplay. How can we improve habitual gameplay? How can we make our autopilot better? So if you look at this, he's probably thinking something like, she's in range, let me auto her. Right? That's the instinct. Right? That's your autopilot. Okay, Zillion missed bomb. Okay, support doesn't have anything. I'm gonna go hit her. Right? So one thing that could be a fix for Lucian, I don't know what he's thinking, but if I were Lucian, that's probably what I would be thinking. One easy fix would probably be something like, every time you want to hit them, maybe you should do a check on your abilities. Like, where's your trade pattern? Do you have it up, right? Like for example, on Jin, do you have your Q4 shot ready? On Varus, do you have your E ready, your Q ready? On any champion, it's gonna be an ability like Misfortune, your Q, whatever it is. Is this trade pattern ready? The way you do the most reliable damage, right? Your quick trade, right? A second way you can look at this is maybe something like, if you want to attack, look for something here. Where's my support? I mean, if you look at his support, there is a 0% chance he's going to win this. Quite literally 0%. I could probably fire my Q off into the river and we'd still win based off range minions and Zillion autoing him, right? So that's another thing you can look at. I think that's also something that we might see here. But maybe I'm going a little bit too deep into this level 1, right? Let's keep going. It's probably not, it's not game changing. It's great for laning phase, but not game changing, right? It's just, when you guys wonder how do you win lane so fast, this is kind of one of those timings, right? So here you're gonna see us farming. I mean, we could just like fight for level 2. You saw him take a bomb to the face when he went for a minion. Saw him take a Q to the face. A little bit unfortunate, but another thing you can look at is kind of tension. When you're going to last hit minions, you got to make sure that you're not going to get attacked by the enemy support for the most part, right? So here you're summing back up because Maokai is gonna press W on me, right? Zillion's not gonna be able to really stop anything here. I think a lot of times, a lot of you guys would probably die here, right? You guys see the problem? So let's back it up here. Wow, there's a lot of 2v2 going on here. But if you watch this section here, right? I think a lot of you guys, have the potential to die here, right? So when we talk about matchups, it's been a while since I talked about laning on this channel. But let's talk about like the 2v2 real quick. Okay, so basically the rundown is kind of figuring out how you win lane 2v2, like how you win 2v2 PvP interactions, and how do they win 2v2 PvP interactions. So for both of us to level 2, right? You take a look at Zilean. You want to look at the supports because they're the ones with the with the playmaking ability in lane, right? 9 times out of 10. So if you look at Zilean here, okay, well, what is Zilean? How do we win with Zilean? What comes to mind? What's decisively winning? Of course, you're going to say something with the bombs, because that's all he's got, besides like the E-slow and a gank, I guess, or something like that, right? So it's going to be like a Q and then W to reset the cooldown and Q again to stun, right? So it's something like poke. So, okay, let's back it up a little bit more. Wow, this is kind of like... This is going to just be a fucking video on how to play the first 20 minutes. We're just going into everything. So, in 2v2 matchups, I like to categorize my matchups to make things super simple. I like to keep things in patterns so I know how to play with my support, even if it's something really weird, like, I don't know, something really weird, like Maokai support, I guess, right? It would be to define it in one of 4 categories, okay? I have poke, catch, trade, and all in as my categories. And if you've been on this channel like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I made videos on this. But basically, let me just define these so we're on the same page, okay? Poke are champions that poke you out, and the definition of poke for me is damage that cannot be responded or replied with or retaliated with. You cannot fight back. You don't have an opportunity to hit back. So when you think of poke, you think of like Ziggs bombs or Xerath Q or Nidalee spears or whatever. They're gonna throw shit at you and they outrange you, so you can't back, right? That's poke, right? So there's poke, right? Damage that cannot be responded, right? There's trade, right? Trade is you hit them, but they do have the opportunity to hit back. Not saying it's good or bad. It's just if I hit them, he's gonna hit back, right? That's trading. So a good example of trade would be let's use Janna for example. Janna W is trade, right? Because why is it not poke? Well, if you're playing Janna and you walk up to W them, they can try and hit back, right? But so it's trade, right? Maybe if they can't hit back, I don't know. What champion wouldn't be able to hit back? I think all champions can hit back against Janna W, right? So yeah, it's just trade, right? And these champions want to trade. Something in their kit tells them they want to trade, like a Lulu shield, right? If you walk up to a Lulu who's just gonna EQ in the face, you're gonna have a problem, right? Let's say you're playing like Lucian or something. Of course you're gonna lose, right? These champions want to trade. That's like their win condition. They're gonna trade with you over and over again, right? So they're gonna look for that when you guys fight for minions. I should note that a lot of these times we're looking for these matchup ideas in the laning phase. And when do we fight? Oh, we fight over minions, right? He wants the last hit. Can we poke him? That kind of stuff, right? Sorry, I should delete the most recent thing. Okay, delete again. Okay, third, catch. Okay, these are usually CC abilities that are not guaranteed. Okay, CC ability is not guaranteed. Really easy way to define it. So let's say, for example, Blitzcrank, right? Blitz has his hook, right? But it's not guaranteed. His fist is guaranteed, but his hook is not guaranteed. So the primary way we can go fishing, find something in lane, is through the hook, which is not guaranteed. So it's catch. We're going to try and catch them, right? Other examples of catch would be like, well, actually, in this case, Zilean Bomb, right? Zilean Stun is not guaranteed, but it is CC. So if we can land it, it can be really good, right? And then last but not least, wow, sorry, I can't speak at 3, 4 a.m., is all in. And all in is some kind of guaranteed CC and or guaranteed damage. You cannot miss it. It's impossible to miss it. Well, maybe not impossible, but very reliable. So examples of all in, I'm sure you guys all know. Very obvious examples come to mind. Leona, Alistar, Draven, these champions point and click. Samira, got fucking Samira, dude. Pardon my French. That champion, woo, that champion is makes me lose my mind sometimes. But Samira is all in champion. Lucian has all in damage as long as you don't miss your Q, right? Maokai, his W is quite literally point and click, right? So if you look at these, matchup categories, okay, what is Caitlyn and Zilean, right? We have some very obvious categories here, okay? So let's talk about this real quick. We have to do this rundown to make sure you guys know what we're talking about. So it's poke. We got the Zilean. I don't know how to put this in here. We'll just say like we have 1 point in poke, I guess. I don't know. We can give it a point system, I guess. This point system is not really a thing. Okay, I'm just making it up as I go along. And we have like 1 point in catch, I guess, or 0.75 or whatever. It's not. These are our categories though. This is what we're looking for. This is what our lane is strong at. So when he wants a minion, I'm gonna look at Zilean and say, can we poke him? Can we catch him? Okay. Now on the other side, right? They have Lucian Maokai. So what does Maokai want to do? He wants to all in because he presses W, right? Boom. All in category, right? And then what else can he do? I guess he can like poke you with saplings, but don't stand next to the bush and you can't get poked, right? So of questionable nature. And then what about Lucian? How's Lucian fare in with this? This is an all in as well. He's quite good at all in, right? So when you look at this and you see me backing off here, the reason why I said a lot of you guys would die here is because the very easy, the very natural thing to do here is CS, right? When you want the CS, these range minions, that's when you need to make sure you're playing your matchups correctly, right? Maokai is going to flash W you and all in you. And how do we know? Because Zilean poke / catch will not kill Lucian. Does that make sense? Right, so here you're dead if you walk up the last enemy because that's a flash W by Maokai. You will try and flash out. He will Q you, ignite you, auto attack aftershock. Lucian dashes in. Zilean will aim Lucian. He'll flash the bombs because it's cash and you die. Right. So how can we calculate this super fast? Well, you kind of see it like 1,000 times. You'll watch for these patterns, right? But the habit to form here when you're fighting for these minions is I want the last hit minion. What's my support doing? And how does this affect our matchup? Like, how can we poke him? Is the first thing. And you look at their support. Can they all in us? That's simple. It's that simple, right? So in this case, yeah, there's a problem here. And I would, in fact, prevent Lucian's level 1 losing all his health because his Maokai couldn't help level 1, and our Zilean, even though he missed bomb, he's still in range to auto attack and stuff, right? That's why you see us playing at range here. I know we're going a lot into laning phase, so probably this would just be like a laning phase video. We might skim the mid game, honestly. Wow, there's a lot of things to talk about in this laning phase, I guess. So if you look at this, a lot of people who have been on this channel will know instantly what this means, right? So the question is, winning or losing, how do you know? Right? The question is, winning or losing, how do you know? And didn't we just say something interesting? We talked about matchups, right? So don't they want to all in? Right? Lucian Maokai and Zilean and Caitlyn want to poke. So when I say that this is hard winning for Caitlyn and Zilean, how could that possibly be? Right? So here's another main principle of bot lane. When there's 2v2 fights going on, 2v2 all-ins, 2v2 fights in general, who's the priority target here? It's always the ADC. Right? Why is that? Because if you aim the support, this is very natural to do if your support goes into enemy support. If you trying to all in the support, you can hit the support. I'm not saying don't hit the support. I'm saying if you spend everything on the support and you kill the support, what will the enemy bot lane do in response? They will kill you. We're gonna kill Lucian here. There's no two ways around it. He's gonna flash the Zilean bombs, and I'm gonna solo kill him because he's spending so much time on killing Zilean, right? So when you see something like this happen, the easiest thing to identify here is it targeting the support or the ADC? Because if it's targeting the support, the question is, can you get away with murder? And what I mean by that is kill him really fast and get away from the ADC here, which is me. I'm gonna run it down like this. If Lucian goes in, right? And the other question is, if you cannot get away with murder, then you have to play it really slow. You guys gotta kite out. You gotta run. You gotta start running because they're gonna try and focus the ADC now because you used your all-in ability on the non-primary target. All right. So I just wanted to show you this here because it's immediately winning. Right, if you watch how we're playing here, we're looking to hit Lucian. It's pretty important to see how the mouse is. I mean, let me slow it down for you. Is this? Yeah, this is the speed. So if you look at my character here, we're looking to hit Lucian. You see that? And he knows he just has the run because he's half health. He can't do this. And Maokai just ends up losing his health for no reason. So if you're a support player on this channel and you're watching, looking for like bot lane dynamics here, one thing you can do is if you are you aiming the support? Or maybe you can be the Zillion and you can bait the engage and you will claim they cannot get away with murder because we will focus their ADC. Right? So just some bot lane things. Right? So that's how we know that that's absolutely not winning. Not even close to winning. So you can see how, based on the laning phase already, they've already like lost kind of half their health. And the more health they lose, I mean, they were really trying to force it, but the more health they lose, the less opportunity they'll have to all in, right? So, yeah, I mean, it might seem we're going a little bit overboard in this first 3 minutes of the laning phase, but you have to remember that these aren't, what we're talking about here isn't really champion specific. The main focus is really about patterns, right? We're not saying when Lucian and Maokai focus the Zillion and Caitlyn can kill the Lucian. No, we're just talking about like, oh, if you focus the support, the bot lane's gonna focus you, the ADC, right? Or if the enemy bot lane focuses your support, you should look for their ADC, right? Don't let them get away with the crime, right? And just general matchups. So if there is any takeaway you get from this video, it's there is a pattern in all these plays, and every time you make a good play or an int, there is a pattern there, and it's kind of your job to find out what it is and how to reproduce it, right? So we can see an obvious clear pattern here, guys. What's a clear pattern we're seeing from their Maokai? You can kind of tell how good they are in the first 3 minutes, right? Well, there's a tell here. Maokai keeps looking for Zillion. Right? There's some kind of, okay, that's, they're gonna int in the next 10 minutes, I promise you. Not because I played the game, but because he continuously looks to all in the Zillion. Right? And even though all-in is their matchup, they have to get away with murder, like aka we can't kill Lucian in that timing. So that's definitely going to be really interesting. Also, he's trying to W minions. Do you guys think it's worth to use your all-in ability on a minion to try and dodge one poke worth of Zillion Bomb? Not a chance, right? So let's keep going. I just wanted to put that out there. Let's keep going. Not a chance, right? We can talk about this interaction. If you are getting pushed in, right? And they are going to go and help the river fight. One thing that's a little bit important for you to see what they're doing is have vision of this area. Credits to Arrow, who kind of explained it really well in terms that I will remember it for a long time. But you need to see what they're doing, because a lot of you guys will be back here, and you can't really see anything. So they can either be doing one of two things. They could be rotating, you don't know, or they could be hiding in a bush, going to kill you guys when you face check, and you don't know. You need to be able to see this, right? In order to see what's going on. And sometimes you can't see it. That's fine. They're gonna all in you like Callisto Thresh or something. They're gonna flash on you. Sometimes you can't see it, and that's fine too. But when you can see it like this, and they give it to you for free, like Maokai's like walking away or something, then you should take it, right? You should take this vision. This is the rotation, or so, I don't know what you want to call this, but this area where they're gonna rotate in the river, you wanna be able to see what they're doing after they push in, right? Here the bot lane went missing. Maybe they went the long way around to try to go to Hecarim. That's not gonna work. People are backpicking Hecarim, so he's not gonna get caught here, right? So here, when in doubt, we're just last hitting la-di-da. One thing to note here is when you're last hitting minions, remember one of the habits we talked about was where's your support and where's their support. The matchup when you're last hitting minions, right? So where's their support right now? We thought it was could be roaming on Hecarim, right? They were running through Tribush because we know they didn't go this way. And since they didn't show up on Hecarim, where else could they be? And that is the question, right? So here, they're right here. This is actually death. Actually die there, right? Why is that? Because they're all in, they're aiming the ADC, and Zilean can't do anything to stop it, right? Because he's catch/poke, and he's not nearby, right? So this is the other thing I think at Diamond that you guys probably have problems with is now that you have the winning position, how do you close it out mechanically? So if you've ever played Maokai, you know that there's a true combo here that kills me here. It's just root into Q back, but he did it like too late, right? Yeah, execution is important in terms of how do we seal the deal, right? So here, he shouldn't try to fit the extra auto attack. He should just press Q, right? And I'd be dead here. But since he tried to fit the extra auto attack, I just flashed out, right? So luckily, I got to flash out with my life here. So pretty big mistake. But again, something that can be easily fixed with the same habit we've been talking about, right? We back it up and we say, remember our habits. We're last hitting these minions. Where is their support? And you know, he's going to try and find an all-in angle on you, the ADC, right? Okay, so Zilean's going to go check the river. Their support could be anywhere in lane that's not in this bush, right? So where should we stand? We just stand over here, right? Stand with Zilean, no problem, right? If they're in this bush aiming Zilean, we just aim Lucian, right? So yeah, that's how you prevent that from happening. Wow, that's probably the biggest mistake I made this game at the 4-minute mark. Sucks. That was my first game of the day. That's my only excuse. Shouldn't be falling for those kind of tricks. Let's just say that. But yeah, okay, we keep farming, and you'll notice on you can practice this habit. You can start practicing the habit by watching this video. Like you just every time I last hit a minion, look at what both supports are doing. Probably one of the biggest things you'll see at this elo or any elo, the fastest way to lose a game is to die to the enemy team. And you're like, wow, that's ridiculous. That's just stupid, isn't it? That's just so obvious. No. I don't mean their bot lane. I mean, the fastest way to lose a game is to die to their jungler or to their mid laner. That's the fastest way. And you guys, I've known, you guys have first-hand experience with this. You play against Katarina, you give Katarina 2 kills, no one wants to play anymore, right? You play against Olaf, you give Olaf 2 kills, no one wants to play anymore. You guys get the idea, right? So it's really important to, so far we only talk about 2v2 lane habits, but little did you know, you can also, on the same habit, when you last hit the minion, look at the map, right? We'll get to map ideas later. Actually, we'll get to map ideas right now. What I want you guys to be able to do eventually is to pause when you see something like this and know the answer in half a second, right? The answer being winning or losing, because you have half a second in game to figure it out a lot of times. So that's why you need to improve your autopilot, right? You need to train your habits, your subconscious, to know, to recognize this pattern so that you can play accordingly. Is this winning or losing? 2v2 wise, right? And if you answered losing, you'd be correct. Why is that? Well, obviously, Lucian's 1v2ing, right? Is a very similar mistake to earlier where he's looking for an attack, right? He's trying to trade with me. And the next thing we know that you need to do is look at the supports, right? So I'm not saying, hey, you shouldn't attack. It's basically like, oh, you should be aggressive, but like smart about it. Like that means nothing, right? When someone tells you, when you have a friend look at your gameplay and they're like, dude, you just gotta use your brain. Like that doesn't tell you anything. Let's be honest, right? Like, oh, dude, you need to be aggressive, but like smart aggressive. Like that's like bullshit, right? Like obviously you want to be aggressive and not smart aggressive, but how do you do it is the question. And this is how you do it, right? You should look for the attack, right? Thinking wise, like automatic, that should be a part of your habitual that should be your instinct. I want to attack here, right? And then you want to add habits on top of that to make sure the attack is winning. So it's not that him looking for some kind of dash out of the bush, trying to cheese me kind of shenanigans. It's not that the idea is bad. You've seen that idea work before, right? It's more like, what are the habits you need to insert here after thinking that to make sure this works, right? And there are 2 of them, okay? So one we've already talked about. When you try and fight over minions, right? Which is kind of what's happening here. Everything is a fight over minions, right? Everything's a fight over towers, dragons, minions, barons, whatever. You look at support matchup. right? So his Maokai's not here. So how does he win this? He needs to kill me by himself. And he needs to dodge Zillion stun, which he can do with flash. So, full combo, W from bush, auto, E auto, Q auto, and somewhere in there, flash Zillion bombs. Right? The problem is, that full combo doesn't even kill me. So he's gonna use flash to not kill me. You see how that works? So there's a problem with this play already. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And you can instinctively tell if it works or not by looking at the support. Right? His support can't do anything here. He can't make a solo play. This doesn't work. Second, when we're fighting over minions, the second habit we need to add on top of this, besides 2v2 matchups, is the jungler. Right? We say we need you know, every time you last hit, you need to look at the jungler. Every time you fight, you need to look at the jungler, right? So he wants to fight here. Where's my jungler? He has no clue. So when you go for something like this, you're gonna die to the jungler. And you're gonna see the game blow wide open here, right? So he's gonna go for this full combo here. It doesn't really do anything, right? You notice he's literally dying because we're both focusing him, right? And my jungler is here. And in fact, I actually don't know what happened there because Hecarim should have killed him, right? So I guess unlucky, but he does end up blowing flash, and this is important, right? Because you shouldn't take my word that flash is important. I'll show you why flash is important later. But you'll see that there's a common theme at this elo, and it's when you guys are fighting over minions or fighting each other, two patterns emerge. Who you guys are focusing and how you react to it. Are you guys focusing on support or the ADC and how you're reacting to it? That's the secondary one. The first one really is you guys are fighting over minions. What is the support matchup? You need to remind yourself of the support matchup. Does this play into my matchup? Am I playing within the bounds of my matchup? You need to find the positioning of both supports and just ask yourself, what's happening here? Right? Am I trading with Zillion? Am I poking with Zillion? And are they all ending with Maokai W? Right? And you've noticed, if you've been watching this, Lucian's been playing this laning phase by himself. And you notice what we're doing is we're just taking it slow. I'm just cruising, bro. I'm not trying to do anything crazy. I'm just casually just playing the game, you know? We're just farming minions. I'm just watching Zillion, and we're looking for anything good. I'll hold my Q for you and look for stun if it's okay, right? With the screen tearing, but okay, again, you see the problem with this, right? He might get away with this. No, he's not getting away with it, right? Okay, so this is over. Okay, so let's back it up, right? Two principles here. The same two principles apply. So let's just talk about 2v2. Yeah, I mean, you want to fight over the minions, or you just want to fight in general. Maybe it's not over the minions. Maybe that's not what you're thinking, right? It's important to build habits on top of what you specifically are thinking. Maybe he just wants to fight. So you would build habits on top of that. You're not trying to remove bad habits. No. You want to make habits you have already better by adding on top of it, right? The aggression to attack is not bad in itself. We need to make it better by doing something on top of it. Like, for example, he needs to see if Maokai is ready for this. Maokai is obviously not ready for this, right? That's step one. Step two, what is my support going to do in response? He's going to try and catch him. Poke/catch. In this case, it's a slow into double bomb, because he has no flash to dodge it since he uses dash, right? So, winning or losing, chat. His Maokai literally can't do anything here. And how do we know Maokai can't do anything? How do we know Maokai has no flash W? How do we know? It's very important. Flash timers. That's why you see a lot of Halo players time flashes, because I know he has no flash because I don't have flash. Remember earlier he made that flash play that was supposed to kill me, but he fucked it up? Yeah, that was the same. We have the same flash timer, right? How do we know Lucian has no flash? I just saw Hecarim take it earlier, right? So yeah, so winning or losing, right? Here's the second part to this. Okay, so not only that, but we're both aiming the ADC here, right? So you can see Lucian's just taking like 1 million damage here. He's actually just legit dying here, right? So here's the second part to this, right? There's two parts to this: 2v2 and non-2v2. The non-2v2 is getting ganked and roamed on. So here you might be saying, hey, well, Alchemy, Hecarim's not here, no one's ganking. Do you mean Kha'Zix? No, I mean something we set up in advance. And this is a trick. If you're at any elo, just fucking do this trick. Like, just do it every game. Like, they just fall for it. It's just too easy, okay? And if you're at any elo, you want to play around this trick, okay? And what's the trick? This is the trick, okay? They have no flash. Your team has a TP play. Poppy TP and Galio TP will do something like taunt after TP or Poppy E after TP, right? So you put down a TP ward. and then you can opt to let it push in, or you can push into bait a gank and then counter with TP ward, right? So just every time you're pushing, you just press tab to see if you have TP and put down the TP ward. You see, okay, so I check this. Look at what I'm typing in chat, okay? So, okay, dirty trick, but you press tab, you look at this, and you say, we'll play a TP ward. And how do you beat this trick? Sweep the goddamn bush, okay? And in fact, you need to sweep all of this. All of this whole section needs to be swept, because this is a TP ward angle. This is a TP ward angle in the alcove. This is a classic TP ward. This is a TP ward, and this is a TP ward. 5 TP ward spots you can't get with 1 pink. So support sweeper is probably necessary, or you need to be paying very close attention to them. Okay, because at higher elos, you'll notice that they pink this to counter TP ward. So now you start putting the TP ward here. And then they put another pink ward here, and you put the TP ward in alcove. Okay, it doesn't stop. All right, it just goes on and on. Or fucking, you can put it here, you can put it here, you can put it here. This one doesn't really count, but yeah, TP ward. Okay, okay. If you want to learn any stupid dirty cheats from this video, every time you push, TP ward. Okay, every time you want to push and you have no flash, you need to counter TP ward, or you're gonna lose the game. Okay, so here they lose. We're gonna snowball off this occurring TP. So we put a TP ward down, and even though it's taking Galio like 10 years to TP, right? And even though Zilean died, right? The important, we were aiming the ADC the whole time, and we set up the TP ward, and it got a little bit close because they were in fact getting away with murder. I don't know if you noticed, but something's wrong with the damage in this game when if you watch Maokai here, I'm not really sure how Maokai just kills Zilean. What is that though? I don't know about you guys, but they got away with murder because Maokai solo killed Zilean. So this is very close to getting away. They pretty much got away with murder. I had TP to bail me out here. I can't win this, right, by myself. So yeah, but yeah, the TP ward really sealed the deal here, right? So that's the big one here. 2v2 ideas are definitely very important here, but at the end of the day, the team with more people is usually the trump card, right? That's really crazy. Galio was trying to TP to minions or something, but I put a TP ward down. This guy's just dead. I don't know what he's doing. That doesn't make any sense. That has nothing to do with me, right? I just press R, right? That has nothing to do with me. That's just, you should be paying attention to know if you should kill an ulti. And how do we know if something's happening in the river? Like I said, every time you last hit a minion, you need to look at the map. Let's say you're really focusing on this 2v2 support ideas, and you're just watching the enemy support, and you're making sure Maokai can't W you. And you missed the fact that Zilean bombed Lucian, and you had a stun up, you had a trap combo opportunity, right? That's fine, because what you were working on was making sure you didn't die to the Maokai win condition, right? And it's important to build these up step by step, because you can't try and do like, okay, watch Maokai and also give your attention to the Zilean trying to throw bombs, right? Like the goal is to give attention to these new habits you're trying to build to the point where it becomes its own habit and it requires no attention, right? You want to be able to not think and win. That's the ultimate goal, right? You kind of want to choose what you give your attention to make it better, right? So if you're feeling overwhelmed by trying to do all these things, don't be. It's just a lot of practice, right? And a lot of focused practice, right? So yeah, I don't know what Lucian's doing there. He's trying to kill the minions or something. I mean, he's trying to attack me again. I mean, is this the same thing? It's just the same thing. I don't know if I'm repeating. If it's boring hearing me repeat myself, but every time you look for attack or fight over the minions, you need to look at the supports, right? And you also need to see who you're focusing. They are focusing the right target, but Maokai can't help. And Zilean's going to hit him, so he's going to die here, right? I mean, I have nothing else to say. That's it, right? He's dead, right? So there's like a really important PvP takeaway. It's you need to look at your support when you're trying to fight, right? To see if you guys can even win this fight, right? You need to win. You need to be winning before you even pick a fight, or know what paths to winning are. Like you're trying to bait something, right? He's trying to dive this. I mean, okay, so every time you fight, right, we look at the support. Well, there's no support. I mean, it's just 1v2, 2v1, right? And the jungle. So we know there's no TP, like we said. We swept everything. And what about Kha'Zix? Okay, Kha'Zix could be on the way. Right? So we can look for something with the Zilean stuns, but you'll notice that since he didn't land the stun, we can't really can't really dive here. So we're just saving everything for this gank, right? So that's it looks subtle. That was the important part, is we make sure we didn't die to the enemy team. Because when you die to the enemy team, that's when the game gets blown wide open. That's when the snowball starts happening. Like this Galio is perma shoving mid. He just got like 2 kills bot or something, right? I mean that's just it, right? And Kha'Zix can't do shit. Is Galio and Hecarim are just running at him in the river and stuff, right? He's just like, this is unplayable. And it's all happened because bots started snowballing. But I didn't get any kills. Or you don't have to get kills to carry, right? I mean, he's literally another double kill. Holy shit, he's literally popping off here, right? All because we set up that TP. Literally set up one TP play bot, and he had no flash because he inted it. And I said they have no flash, and I put down TP ward, and they're just fucking losing now. That's it. That's his elo in a nutshell, right? I mean, that's really what it is, right? So let's keep going. We're just gonna just keep watching this until something interesting happens, I guess, right? I mean, you see your team doing dragon, right? We're just chilling. You haven't really seen me do anything crazy, honestly. It's just trying to be as consistent as possible. Here you can see me trying to trade because my jungle's coming. Oh, I mean, this is just tragic. That smells like desperation, to be honest. I don't know what to say about this. What do you say about this? I mean, if you have mana advantage, you wanna trade, right? So Hecarim's trying to dive here, right? So even though I'm taking tower shots, we're just trying to trade away all our abilities and health so your teammates can finish them off. That's a nice idea you guys can try and use in your games. If you guys have mana advantage, you want to trade as much as possible. It's like when your team is ganking. You want to trade and then your team ganks and you win, right? Same thing. I mean, this is just a dive, right? So, and then as for how we know he's going to flash in, well, you just prepare your heal, right? And you know he has no Q because you saw it, so you don't have to flash Q. Just kill the auto attacks because he's trying to press the attack you, right? So he's just dead. Right? That's another PvP thing we can talk about, is knowing what the enemy abilities, important enemy abilities are to watch out for. So like, how do we know this Hecarim is just dead? Like instinctively you might know, but we can logically spill it out too, or spell it out. Sorry. Again, 4 a.m. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys. So I'm a second screen kind of guy, aren't I? Anyways, yeah, how do we know we can't do anything here? Well, we can talk about like mechanical ideas. If we fight this, how do we win? What's like the ability, what abilities do we have that are win conditions? Between me, Zilean, and Hecarim, we have nothing. I mean, no Kaelin abilities will win this fight. Zilean has no mana for stun. And Hecarim used everything, so auto loss, right? You see how that works? So that's just simple math, honestly. You can also look at their end. I mean, you can't stop Kha'Zix. Jump in and Q, right? So yeah, there's nothing to do here. You just go home. Usually you can tell if you can help or not based off of does your team have anything going for it? Like, can we fight with anything? But yeah, probably a little bit out of the scope. Well, maybe not out of the scope. That's not really out of the scope. I mean, honestly, it's the same idea as support win condition. Like, you know, what's the win condition of the 2v2? It's just in 3 people. And you got to look at like mana and stuff, right? That's basically it. So, it's the baby version, I guess, of mini team fights, skirmishes. Yeah, I'm just farming minions here. I mean, guys, it's not just farming minions, right? I want you to start building this habit watching this replay. You see me farm a minion. What do you do? What is the habit to build? Wards, junglers. Then, if you can already do that, mid roam, top TP. Okay. I saw the Kha'Zix there. How come some people don't see the Kha'Zix there, even though it showed up on the ward for half a second? Because you're not looking at the map every time you last hit a minion. See this? I see. You see the Kha'Zix. I last hit a minion there. I should have seen him, right? You see that? So that's info. Sometimes you guys might be missing, right? And you look at mids and you say Galio is looking for some kind of play bot, but he went back mid, right? So we can talk about how to we can talk about like winning more, I guess. So here you can see us setting up a slow push, right? So this is kind of how you set up a 4-man or even a 5-man. So when you see, I mean, I don't know about jungle pathing, but like he's going like this, right? Waiting for his ulti. And what about mid? mid's gonna shove, and look. How come he's not looking top? Top is basing, right? And if Poppy has TP, Poppy's gonna TP bot, right? And so what does that mean for us? Well, when in doubt, you should just slow push. Build a massive wave. Because when you're on the receiving end, where they build a wave of like 2 waves or 3 waves, including the cannon, and your whole bot side vision is dark, you're like, holy shit, I'm gonna lose the whole wave because I'm gonna get dove. This is how you set it up. Here's another dirty trick, okay? If you like the TP word dirty trick you should do every game, here's the slow push into dive true combo dirty trick you should do every game, okay? When you have a lead and you are able to dive, you guys are winning. How do I transfer that lead? You should slow push when in doubt, okay? Because if your team is playing topside and they're gonna gank you, slow push will protect you as much as possible, right? Because you have a shit ton of minions. And if you guys are diving, slow push is going to attack them as much as possible because you're going to dive with a shit ton of minions. So how do you slow push? Just last hit. Wave meets on this side of the river. It's pushing towards them automatically. Don't push, just last hit so that you can, get the next wave, right? You can get the next wave into tower. When you finally want to get everything into tower, you just hard push, right? So you're just watching us here. I mean, this is the wave. Oh, you see Galio start moving, right? And I guess they're going to try and counter this potentially. We already swept up the bushes again. Zillion's doing a good job of that, actually. Oh, props to him. And then now they feel forced to leave 2 waves of XP and gold and the cannon wave because Galio is roaming on them, right? Sag. And Hecarim's on this side of the map because we saw him path down here, right? Also Sag. So yeah, this is a form. I mean, not exactly like a guaranteed 4-man dive, but our team, we're pressuring them to make them think, to make them scared of the 4-man dive. We're putting a gun, we're like pointing a gun at them, like, okay, you can't farm this, right? If you want to be more annoying, I kill the tower too fast on accident. If you want to be more annoying, you just let the tower kill all the ranged minions. But so yeah, that's the laning phase in a nutshell. I mean, if we press tab soon TM, we can see the impact. So oh shit, what is this? What? This is a fucking 15-minute video? You gotta be kidding me. All right, I think we're just gonna call it here, right? I'm gonna press tab somewhere here. Boom, pause. This is how you manufacture bot gap. What are the patterns we saw the most? 2v2 matchup, aiming the ADC once or twice, and every time you last hit minions, you look at the junglers and mid roam. And there's 1 TP play, and we threatened another mid roam, and there's a jungle gank, right? So half was kind of interactions between ganks and roams coming bot lane, and the other half was pure 2v2. So I want you to think, 2v2 comes from matchup, and then you leverage the advantage you get from a matchup, whatever advantage you get, to lead into some kind of bigger play, like TP. They have no flash, we get TP. We push to get Pryles so we can do Dragon, and they can't know, right? Stuff like that. We push to unlock our support to roam mid, right? We were using leverage your 2v2 matchup so that you can help your team, or so that you can set it up to have your team gank them or roam on them or something like that, right? And how do we do it? Well, you just saw it here, right? TP ward tricks, slow push tricks. Otherwise, focus on the foundations of 2v2 matchup ideas and interactions between junglers and roaming, okay? And TP. So that's it for the laning phase. That's a motherfucking 50-minute video. We have to cut this down to like 20 minutes or less. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. I'm tired as fuck. Hopefully when I edit this and render this or whatever, I can just go to bed. See you guys tomorrow or something. I guess I'll upload this ASAP. Yep, peace.